Good morning, everybody. I wonder if you could all that are online with me give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm still getting the odd problem here. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to see those little emojis coming along the bottom. So I know a few people can hear me. That's great. Thank you, thank you. I'm always happy to see that. Love those little emojis. Makes me feel I'm not alone. Anyways, welcome everybody. And if you have a question, we're going to be about an hour, maybe a little less today. But if you have any questions, please don't. Your sound is on mute. Again, everybody can hear me. Somebody said my sound is on mute. Okay. So I'm sure everybody can hear me because I'm seeing the thumbs up. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask questions. I love questions. Always happy to answer questions. I won't answer your question until the end of the session today. So just type them in the area attendee chat or where the question mark is. I'm not sure which platform you're on, whether you're on a desktop or a tablet, whatever. They're a little different. But anyways, look forward to answering any questions that you might have. I'm going to turn my camera off because it makes the screen larger. So goodbye for now in terms of my image. And that makes the image larger. Remember, these are recorded, these sessions. It means that you can come back at any time and rewatch these sessions over and over as many times as you want. I'm going to turn my cell phone off, by the way. If you hear some noise in the background, let me just say to you that I just moved here to Burlington and there's a big construction project going on next door. So if you hear some stuff in the background, unfortunately, I have no control over that. Anyways, lead conversion, probably one of the single most important questions I get asked all the time. So the question is, leads come from a variety of different sources. And, there's some certain basics that I think we are going to talk about today, but each one is a little different. If it's a referral, that's a lead, or if it's from a website or from a sign call, or, a past client is, coming back. So lead conversion is not just one way of dealing with all leads. They are different. Unfortunately, we don't have time to cover all of them. I have a number of lead conversion webinars rather, that I've done. So look for all of them online. I have about 150 courses that I've written, and they're all filled with a lot of great information for you. So let's begin. And as I say, I will answer questions at the end of our session today. Okay. So can you convert leads that you get online? Yes, you can. Absolutely, yes, you can. So the first thing I want to make sure is that you know that, yes, leads can be converted through the online when you're generating them online. But they do take longer to convert because they're looking much earlier. A sign call is somebody, when you get a sign call, that's somebody who's a little closer to making a decision than somebody who's at home, comfortable in front of their computer, just doing some research. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready, willing, and able to buy right now. And there's a big difference between ready, willing, and able. They might be ready, got the money, got the financing in place, and they're able to do this. They qualify, all of that, but they're just not willing to do it yet. So, you got to remember that in order to be able to convert some of these leads, you always got to remember the ready, willing, and able. And we'll talk a little more about that as we go along. So online lead conversion can be mastered with a few principles that we're going to talk about today. And then also, I always want to say, remember, before you can convert a lead, you got to know where to get some of them. So, I just put a little slide in here to help you with top real estate lead generation strategies. Nothing better than getting testimonials or reviews and getting the people that you've done business with to refer you. So word of mouth, testimonials, and reviews. So if you've got your social walls, make sure whenever you do do business with a client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, nothing is more important than getting testimonials, testimonials, testimonials. And you want to put them everywhere. You want to put the testimonials on your website. You want them on your social walls. There's also, I love LinkedIn. We'll talk a little more about LinkedIn a little later, but, they have a great reviews section and recommendation section. Probably LinkedIn to me is one of my favorite lead generation sources of all of them. I like them the best, to be honest. And then lead generation software. There's a number of lead generation softwares. Fervor, I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Fever, some people call it Fever, some people call it Fervor. It's spelled FIVERR.com. They can, there's a software that you can use that they have. They also have people that can manage all your lead generation for you. We'll talk a little more about that a little later. But there's all kinds of different lead generation softwares out there. As a matter of fact, our own website that comes with our tech package, Income Real Estate has a little lead generation software built right into it. Anybody that visits your website that fills out a form, automatically that lead is captured. It's a lead capture system. And it's added into a database in the back end of your software, of your website. It has this software built into it. So I believe very much, there's all kinds of different tools out there that offer the software to help you manage your leads, and can also has drip campaigns and all kinds of different messages, email messages that you can send out to clients. So very important that you have a good software that you're using to manage your leads. Again, there are many different ones that you can look at without question. I have a whole course on lead generation. Social media, obviously, that is extremely important. There was a time where the only way we generated leads, many years ago was door knocking, cold calling, and ads in newspapers, ads in magazines. And, we didn't have the various methods that we have today. But today, there's no question that 95 to 98% of people, before they're even going to think about buying any real estate, they're going to go online and they're going to start researching. That's where everybody begins. That. And you want to be able to have a great social media presence online. And that means not just one. I believe that the most important ones, without question, is YouTube. Very important. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. Number 1 is Google. And you all know that YouTube is owned by Google. So very, very important that you have that you set up a YouTube account. You really want to get to the point where you become, you have your own channel. And so you should be videoing all kinds of stuff. There should never be a listing that you take without doing a YouTube video. And there's all kinds of other videos that we'll talk about today as well. So social media, number 1, YouTube. Number 2, LinkedIn. I told you I love LinkedIn. There's many reasons why I love LinkedIn. I've got a course called LinkedIn versus Facebook. And what I love about LinkedIn more than anything, and I would recommend you look at that course that I've written, LinkedIn versus Facebook. LinkedIn is 100% business social media. What I like about it is that you can post business all the time, and you can promote business. You can send emails out to people on LinkedIn looking for leads and looking to promote a listing that you might have. Whereas you wouldn't do that with Facebook. Facebook is very different. It's 70-30, 75-25, 70%, sort of casual kind of posting, not business related, and maybe 25% business related. So that's one thing I like about LinkedIn. It's 100% business, and you can post business all the time, every time, because that's what it's known for. The other thing I like about LinkedIn that is not able to do in Facebook or any other social wall that I'm aware of, that, they may have made a change that I'm not totally aware of yet. But I like the fact that with LinkedIn, you can download your database. If you're using the free version of LinkedIn, I believe you're limited to a certain number. I can't remember how many there are, like 100 a day or something like that. Whereas if you've got the paid for version, which is 100 or so, $150 a year, to have the paid for LinkedIn one, you can download your entire followers on Facebook. So I can take my entire database. I have over 3,000 followers myself, I think, close to that. And then when you start multiplying how it's in millions and millions. So any of you who want to connect with me, just look me up, Gabrielle Jeans, and on LinkedIn, and send me a request, and I'll be happy to connect with you. I have a huge presence on there, and I can take my entire database. I can download it into a CSV file, comma separated value file, and then I can upload it into, whatever database you're using, Top Producer, whichever one that you are using, Constant Contact, whatever lead generation, and contact management software you're using, you can upload it right into that. And so that is something that you can do with LinkedIn that you can't do with any other. And that's a great way. They also have some great, networking groups that you can connect on, like millions of groups, many, many thousands and thousands that are geared towards real estate investments and so on. So LinkedIn is by far my favorite of all. And it's the one social media that you want to spend a lot of time making sure you build your profile really well, have it professionally edited and written for you, highlighting your experience and your background. And, so spend the money, have someone write it for you, have yourself a good graphic person, design a good, banner ad, that goes on your LinkedIn account and your Facebook account and whatnot. So you want to make sure that you spend the time and fill in all the different profile for yourself to make sure it's totally up to date. I have a course on that as well. So social media, as I said, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram would be the ones. Twitter, I'm starting to get more involved in Twitter now than I was before. Twitter is something that's good for the instant thing, that something just happened right now and you want to post about it or you want to find out about it. What I liked about Twitter is that it's more up to date than the news is on television, believe me. So, but the four that I would definitely recommend, as I say, are YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Those are the ones that you want to have. You want to spend time making sure that all of your social walls are set up properly and you've got great information in there. And as far as who you are, your background, your history, all of that, make sure you do that. Links to your website, and so on. So social media is a big, big lead generation source. And we're going to talk more about that today as well. Gaining leads through networking events. Well, I know we're not doing a whole lot of networking today, these days with COVID, but that too shall pass. This is not going to be forever. But gaining leads through networking events, you're not doing it publicly, but you can certainly network online. There's all kinds of real estate networking, and you want to network with not just real estate people from here in your own backyard kind of thing, but you want to network with real estate agents across the country and around the world. Real estate is no longer a local business. It is a global business. So the first thing I say with lead generation is you got to think globally. You cannot think locally only. Your website, of course, your website. I still am so shocked about the amount of people in real estate that don't spend the kind of time, effort to get their website. Your website is never finished. If you're in this business for 50 years, from here on in, I can assure you, you will be working and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking your online presence all the time. I have a course that I wrote not too long ago called The Digital Realtor. I would recommend you take that, The Digital Realtor. And it really goes into your entire internet presence. And I would recommend that. So your website, extremely important that you make sure that you start working on your website. We'll talk more about that as well. Purchasing leads, there's all kinds of places that you can purchase leads. I gave you one of them, Fervor, FIVERR.com. Another one is realestateleads.ca, realestateleads.ca, boldleads.ca, AdWorks, spelled WERX, WERX.com, just to name a few of the lead generation. There's Hootsuite, and there's so many of them out there. Do your research, do your homework. Don't just visit their website. Make a phone call. Ask questions. Is there a contract? How long is a contract? Can I terminate the contract? How many leads do you guarantee me? Because they all guarantee you a certain amount of leads. But I want to be very clear about something, because a lot of people don't understand this. Remember what their job is. Their job is to generate the lead for you. They don't do necessarily all the conversion for you. Although there are some companies that are out there that do have a lead generation program and conversion program as well. Once again, I think someone's asking for the list, Fervor, FIVERR.com. And if you email me, please, I will send it to you. I can't type it out right here. So email me. I'm happy to provide you a list. My email is very easy, training@homelife.com. Training@homelife.com. If you want the list, just email me. I'll be pleased to email you that information again. So you definitely want to be able to have your website filled with great information. Remember, the key to generating leads from a website is two things. Again, I've got a number of courses that I've written on how to be able to generate leads through your website. I have a number of courses that I've written, webinars that you can take. But here are the two things that you have to understand. Number one, before a customer can ever find you, the search engine bots, Google has to be able to find you. All the different, optimization tools that you need to make sure your website is optimized to generate potential, so that these search engines can find you, so that Google, which is the number one search engine in the world, of course, it can find you. So the first thing, Google has to be able to find you and index you. When they find you, they don't index you on page one. There's only two ways to get to page one with Google. Only two ways. Number one, you buy your way there through pay-per-click. You want to do pay-per-click, you can get on page one almost immediately. Certainly within 24 to 48 hours, you'll start appearing on page one. What you're doing is buying impressions. You're not buying a permanent spot. So if you're spending $300 a month and somebody else is spending $400 a month for the same keywords that you're spending money on, the person who's spending $400 is going to be seen more often on page one than you will, because they're buying more impressions than you are. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for impressions. Sometimes you'll be on the left in the top, first, second, third, fourth position. Other times you'll be on the right-hand side where the little AdWords are. On the right-hand side, number one, number two, number three, number four position. You're going to move around. You're not always going to be there. Sometimes you won't be there at all. As I say, you're buying impressions. But number one, you do pay-per-click. The second way to get ranked in Google is through what we call organically. And that is where you have to follow the algorithm rules. I have a whole number of courses on that, not what we're here to do today. But the most important thing is to remember there are certain things that you have to do in order to get these search engine bots, which is computer code that they're basically crawling the web, millions of them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, millions of them. And all they're doing is looking for new content. So the second most important thing with a website is not only having understanding that the search engine bots that are crawling the web have to find you and index you, but it's your content that is going to make them index you in the first place. So every time you add new content to your website, you are alerting these search engine bots to crawl back to come back to your web page and look for new information. I'd like to give you a little visual thing that I'd like you to sort of visualize with me for a moment. Once Google has found your website, these bots, remember, they read, they don't see. These are not human eyes going through your website. It's bots, it's computer code that is crawling the page, and it's looking for text. They read, they don't see. So when they come in and they scan your website, they're crawling all of your pages, they're indexing each one, and then 2 weeks from then, they will come back again. So bear with me through this little explanation. So they've come in, hypothetically, you've got 100 pages, 50 pages, 20 pages, whatever, they've indexed all of them. 2 weeks from now, they're going to come back and they're going to look for new content. So let's assume you have not added any content to your website. They're going to come in, look for new content. They don't find anything, in, out. 2 weeks later, they come back again. No new content, in, out. 2 weeks later, they're going to do this again. They're going to continue to do this. And if 2 months go by, 3 months go by, and you still haven't added any content to your website, they're going to stop coming. Now, let's change that scenario. And they come 2 weeks later, they come back and 5 new articles. Oh, they're going to index all these new ones. 2 weeks later, they come back again. Eight new articles. Wow. So they're going to index all of them. 2 weeks later, they come back again. Another 5. Oh my God, they're all excited. Now they're going to come back maybe every 8 days. Then they're going to, and they still get more content. Then they're going to come back every 5 days and they're still getting more content. Training these bots to come back more frequently. And as they come back more frequently, you're moving up, moving up, moving up to build your way to page one. And that's what I mean by organically getting found and not pay-per-click. That is by far the best way, is to get found organically. But that means that you have to understand that one of the key elements to getting found and getting people to email you from your website, which is how you're generating a lead in the first place, is you have to have great content, and your entire focus in real estate right now needs to be content, content, content. Years ago, when I first got into business and I was hiring new agents, 150 calls a day, get on the phone, dial 150 calls every day, every day, every day. And I trained my agents to do that. And let me tell you, that's the way we had to do it. Today, I say to you, it is content, 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 content. I can't stress it enough. And knowing how to choose the right keywords, making sure your keywords are placed in the right place. I have courses on all of that. So understand, lead generation and lead conversion is based on content. It's based on content. So purchasing leads, we talked about that. If you want the list, send me an email. You want to target for sale by owners. I know that real estate is very hot. It's starting. We're starting to see some little slowdowns here and there. Certainly the condo market in downtown Toronto is showing some signs of trouble ahead. A lot of investors, they say, are possibly looking for ways out on these, condos that are pre-construction. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But certainly, targeting not just for sale by owners, but targeting the having a niche that you specialize in and targeting the customers that you specialize in is going to make such a difference with your website. That's why I believe so much your website also has to be targeted and has to be niche to the market that you're going after. Creating partnerships with other businesses in the community, different home inspectors and, appraisers and title companies and title agents and mortgage people and renovators and carpet people and financial planners. And, you got to be looking everywhere to network. And that is what you're getting paid for. Lead generation is about networking. It's about meeting people. It's about finding new ways to integrate into the digital community to help build your networking ability as well. It's about building relationships, as I said, with home improvement companies, all of that. And then, of course, direct marketing. I still believe in flyers going out into, if you're going to do any kind of geographic farming, if you're going to choose a neighborhood. I used to live in Oakville, so, the Glen Abbey, Oakville, whatever. I sell luxury condos in downtown Toronto kind of thing, using that as an example. And of course, today, door knocking and cold calling, is certainly door knocking is not what people don't want us at their doors today at all. Cold calling, picking up the phone and calling people. Always remember, you may not want to dial for dollars the way I did years ago, but understand you have to know how to use the phone effectively, because the phone will always be a tool. Even though you're not, always using the phone the way we did years ago, you might generate the lead and do some email marketing and email chat or text chat, but you are going to have to use the phone eventually. So you still have to know how to use the phone well. And I have courses just on that as well. So that's some ideas about conversion. So generating leads. Let's look at 11 important lead conversion tips. Remember, lead conversion is about follow-up. That's what it is. It's follow-up. And it's a numbers game. Real estate is always a numbers game. It's a consistent numbers game, though. And I want to emphasize the word consistency. So your follow-up, there should never be a day go by where you don't have some people that you need to follow up with, whether it's buyers looking to buy, sellers who've been thinking about selling. There's all kinds of different follow-up strategies that you need to focus on, because conversion is follow-up. And I have all kinds of courses on follow-up as well. It's a numbers game. It's got to be done every single day. And always remember, number 2, it's when somebody sends you an email, when somebody reaches out to you, who respond first wins. Most of the time, it's that quick response that is going to get. A lot of people think, it's not that important, or they think that you don't want to contact them too quickly because it seems like you're being too pushy. People ask me, do I think real estate agents are too pushy? Let me tell you. I don't think real estate agents are, and I don't like to use the word pushy, but I'll use it in this case. I don't think real estate agents are pushy enough. And I don't mean pushing as a way to try and sell something to somebody who can't afford it, doesn't want it. That's what I call being pushy. Following up, staying in touch, providing valuable information, keeping them aware of what's happening in the real estate market, in my opinion, is not being pushy. Okay? Pushy is when you're trying to sell something to someone that doesn't want it, can't afford it. That's being pushy. So do I think real estate agents follow up enough? I don't think they follow up near enough, in my opinion. Near enough. Very, very important. So you got to make sure you're the first one. And remember, all buyer leads, you got to understand what the buyer wants. Remember, I can't tell you how many times I would hear real estate agents, oh, just a tire kicker. He's just a looker. They're not really interested. They're only interested in looking. They're not serious. Here's what I heard many years ago, and I want to mention it here because it was so valuable to me. I was probably a week or 2 in the business, not very long, first month for sure. And the manager broker came to me and we were talking about buyers, and he said to me, remember, Buyers will want to keep looking at houses until they find a real estate agent that is skilled enough to find them the home and close them. That is skilled enough to find them the right home and close them. Remember, people have better things to do than go out and look at houses. They have better things to do. Remember, there is people who come out and want to see houses. They really want to buy, but there's something that might be stopping them. And your job, our job as professionals, is to find out what's holding them back. What is holding them back? Is it their financials that's holding them back? Is it their fear that's holding them back? Is it their concern of pricing that's holding them back? Something is holding them back. Your job as a real estate professional is to get to the bottom of that. And that means understanding what buyers want, what they really are looking for, and what they're most afraid of. It's getting to know people. It's getting to really communicate at a level, and that takes time. It doesn't happen right away on that first email, on that first conversation, on a phone call, on that first text message. It takes time to convert, to build that relationship, because that's what it is, little by little by little, but getting to know what they really want and getting to know what's holding them back. We are problem solvers. That's what you got to do. Find the problem and solve it. You got to always remember the key to a lead is to get an appointment. You want to be face to face with these people. If they're a buyer, if they're a seller, doesn't matter what kind of a lead. The goal is to get an appointment. You want to be face to face. We used to call it in, belly to belly kind of thing. If you haven't now, remember today, because of COVID, I know you're going to say some people don't want to be. Well, then it's a Zoom meeting. It's a Google Meet, whichever program you want to use. But still, there are people using social distancing, using your mask, using hand sanitizer, all of the things that we are all trained now to know what to do. You give them the option. I'd love to be able to meet with you. Here's my having it in writing. Here are the things I will do to protect you. Here's what I'm going to do to protect your home. Here's what I'm going to do to protect you if you come out with me to see homes, kind of thing. If you want to follow me in your car, whatever. There are ways that you can protect people. Give them the option. We either do a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet, or we meet in person. It's their option. Okay. Also remember, it's providing value. That is the single most important thing. I remember I was dealing with a real estate agent that contacted me not that long ago, and they were doing, pre-construction. That was their market. And she was saying, oh my God, I get lots of leads, lots and lots and lots of leads because of all the buildings, the pre-construction. They all have these events and they hand out leads to you if you're a realtor working with their, and she said, I said, well, how many leads do you get? And she said, 60, 80 a month all the time. I said, wow, that's fabulous. How many have you converted so far? How long have you been getting these leads? Oh, about a year. And how many have you converted? And she said, none. I'm like, whoa, you're getting, 60 to 80 every month and you haven't converted any. She said, no. And I said, wow, let's do a role play. I said with her, okay, you've got these leads. They filled out a card. They came to, this big event where they were showing, you see them lined up at building sites where they're, displaying the new building, all these architectural drawings and so on. And she said, I said, okay, so you're calling me now. I'm the potential buyer. And I said, let's do a role play. And so she says, hello. And I said, yes. And she said, you came to the building. I'm going to make up names. You came to the building, Kingsway Landing. You said you wanted more information. Can I ask you what kind of information are you looking for? And I said, okay, stop right there. And I said, right there is already a problem, okay? Because what have you done there? You've just handed the client control over the entire conversation. Remember, the most important thing to remember when you're on a phone with anybody is to understand you got to learn how to take control and maintain control. There's a big difference between a clerk and a salesperson. A clerk, does this come in size 8? No, it only comes in size 12. Thank you. The client hangs up. So you see, that's a clerk. So I said, here's what you got to do. As soon as a call comes into you, the first thing I always do is I say, good afternoon, my name is Gabrielle. How might I help you? And they say, if I'm making the call, I'm sorry, if they're calling me, I'm saying, hi, this is Gabrielle. How might I help you? If I don't know why they're calling. If they're calling and they are calling about a sign call, it's very different. If in this case, I'm calling you because you're a lead from this condo building, I'm not going to call up and say, I understand you wanted information on, this Kingsway Landings. What information do you want? I would say, I know you were calling on King's Landing, but before I give you the information on King's Landing, let me say to you that I have about 10 other buildings, or 15 or 6, however many there are. I have a number of other buildings that have a lot of great incentives that are excellent buildings as well. Do you mind, before I give you information on King's Landing, if I ask you a few questions? That's how I would have started that call. You see, all of a sudden now you've taken control of the call, and you've also provided value to yourself by saying, I have a number of other buildings, all that have great incentives that I can talk to you about. So do you mind if I ask you some questions to make sure, because maybe there's another building that would be even better suited to you? That's what I'm referring to when I say provide value and know how to take control of a phone call. That's what I'm referring to there. And ditch the fancy HTML. What do I mean by that is when you're sending out emails, a lot of times, remember, a lot of people send out these fancy using templates with like letterhead templates with email. Sometimes when you do that, these templates can attract these spam filters, and it can make your email end up in a junk folder. So you have to be very careful to make sure that your email doesn't end up in a junk folder. And there's certain words that trigger that as well. And if you go online and you go to Google and you type in words to avoid spam filters, just type that into Google and you'll see there's a whole host of different words that'll help you to make sure that you don't end up in the spam filter and your email doesn't even get seen in the first place. So that's why I'm telling you about that. Be concise and be personal. That's why I said it's important to get to know the client and what they're looking for, what their needs are. What your needs are doesn't matter. It's what their needs are. What you like doesn't matter. It's what they like that matters. And it's important that you do that. So if it's a sign call that I get, for example, they're calling on 123 Green Street, and I answer the phone and they say, I just drove by 123 Green Street. Can you tell me how much they're asking? It's always the first thing they want. Okay. Now always remember this. Sign calls are usually always, and I would say 98% of the time, more money than they can afford. I used to have a little formula in the days of ad calls and sign calls. Ad calls, people buy up from an ad and down from a sign. Ad calls, they usually call on a, $600,000 property. They can really afford 7, but they only want to they want a $700,000 home for $600,000, if you know what I mean. So ad calls are typically, they end up spending more than what they're calling on, but sign calls, it's the opposite. They love what they see, but they can't afford what they want. So you always have to have, with sign calls, some houses that are less money, but are similar to this. Instead of a double garage, maybe a single garage. Instead of 4 bedrooms, maybe 3 bedrooms, if you follow what I mean. Instead of 2,700 square feet, maybe 2,100 square feet. So it's the same house, but a smaller version of the same house that you've seen that you could talk about right away. So my point here is I would always say to them when they were calling, I drove by, saw your sign, I would say, do you mind if I put you on hold for a moment? I just want to get the information out so that I have all the facts in front of me. I'll put them on hold for a moment. I do this intentionally. I do it intentionally because when I come back on the phone, I want to be in control again, and I will be in control. Thank you for waiting. By the way, my name is Gabrielle. Who am I speaking with, please? And they'll give you their name. If they don't give you their name, you've got a client already. That's an issue. Okay. Who isn't going to give you their name? They may not give you their last name, but they're going to say, hi, this is Bill or whatever. And now I'm going to say, so the property that you're calling on 123 Green Street, this particular property is, they're asking, $895,000. Is that the price range you're looking for? Always answer a question with another question and go from there. And then I'm going to ask them, do you mind if I ask you, do you rent right now or do you own? We rent. Will this be your first home? Yes, it will. Well, congratulations. You must be so excited. Oh my God. And now they're a first home. And they rent. Are you renting from a home? Are you renting a condo? Are you living with family? I want to know if they're living with their parents. We know that their rent is very low. I'm going to even ask them, what is your rental? What are you paying in rent right now? Do you want your mortgage payments to be in line with your rent? Because a lot of people are paying more money in rent than they could get a mortgage for. So those are some of the questions I want to ask in the beginning. So very important to be concise, be personal, get a response, any response. Remember, when you're emailing someone, the goal with your email is to get a response, and try contacting through social media. Make sure if they're coming through your website, calling about a listing, always find out if they are, are they using any kind of social media? Can we connect on social media? Would love to be able to do that. And always remember, if they don't respond to you after they've sent you an email about a listing and you've emailed them back and they're not responding, drip, drip, drip. Every real estate agent needs to have a drip marketing campaign. And there's all kinds of software out there that have drip marketing built right into it that you don't have to worry about figuring out what to send. You can set them up right in your own contact management software. There's a number of them that you can use. And of course, the website Incom, if you're using that website product, they have a whole, follow-up drip marketing campaign built right into it as well. And what I mean by practice on the cheap, I'm saying, practice before you start spending money on lead generation, meaning pay-per-click or, buying leads. What you want to do is practice first and get used to being better at being able to convert some of the leads into a phone call. So the emails that you're trying to get from an email to a phone call, maybe email to a text to a phone call, but you eventually want to get to a phone call. Then you want to be able to get to meet them face to face or through Zoom or whatever. And again, I will get all of your questions at the end. So let's take a closer look at each one of these. As I said, the internet leads are not much different than any other lead. Every lead that you've ever gotten, if you get 10 leads, you're not going to convert all of them. It's going to be a small percentage. I don't know what your conversion rate is now. You should know, out of 10 leads that you get, what percentage are you able to convert? 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, what percentage can you convert? Now, remember, I don't mean converting first shot. Understand what I mean by that. I don't mean that they email you, you email them back, and immediately you get an appointment and you take them out and you show them a few houses and they're converted. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you might have to connect with this person through email 5 times, 6 times, 8 times, 10 times. But eventually, hopefully, you're going to go from an email, hopefully, to a phone call, and then a phone call, you might have to contact 3 or 4 or 5 times and eventually take them out. This might take months for you to convert. It might take a year for you to convert. Understand, conversion does not mean instant. That is a problem that a lot of real estate people don't seem to get. Understand, most internet leads are bottom feeders, and that have already signed up for 6 offers from other real estate agents. They've already been all over the internet, and there's 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 other real estate agents that have all got them in their database, all trying to do the same thing. Keep this in mind and don't get discouraged when you're not converting someone every time really quickly. Remember, it's a constant keeping in touch process, and don't give up. Okay. Make sure that you've got to also go through your database, and you need to clean up your database. For example, when you get a bounce back, there's what we call if you're sending emails out to people, what we call a hard bounce back and a soft bounce back. A soft bounce back is when maybe you made a mistake in your email. Okay. That the email couldn't be found. Okay. So you look at the email, oh, gee, I made a typo. I left a letter out, or, I put a comma instead of a period, kind of thing. It's what we call a soft bounce back. A hard bounce back is when this email, is dead. I mean, it's closed. This email account is no longer. You want to make sure that you clean up all of your hard and soft bounce back. Take out the hard bounce backs, the ones that are saying this email doesn't exist, and correct it, or get rid of it altogether, depending on what's wrong with it. So make sure you understand that. If your real estate marketing mix is doing its job, new leads are consistently going into your database. I say to real estate agents, always remember, nothing is more important than generating leads. We're in a business of hunting. That is what your business is. It's not selling houses. That's a byproduct of your business. What your business is building a clientele every day, all the time, building that clientele, following up with that clientele through valuable information, through education, through why are they paying 6% if they're selling through you, or 5% rather, if they're selling through you? Why are you getting 2.5% when you make a sale? Remember, those people are using you for one reason, because of your knowledge. It is your knowledge that they're buying. It is your information on how you're going to help them find the right house. So nothing is more important than making sure you keep getting yourself educated to the market that you're dealing with. So if you're dealing in Markham, you got to know Markham like inside, outside, upside down, and backwards. And that means studying the Market Watch report. It means going online with Google and setting up Google alerts. Anytime real estate is talked about, Google, send me in Markham, Ontario, send me the information, and setting up a Google alert. They'll always send you this information. So research. What are the new houses that are coming on the market? Going out and taking a look at some of these houses. Don't just look at the videos. Yeah, I know how video is so great, but if you can get in to see a house, using all the COVID-19 follow up, making sure you got your mask on and your sanitizer, and making sure you have wipes that you can wipe the handles off when you finish, all that kind of stuff. People are still wanting you to sell their home, and there's all kinds of people going in, looking at their house and showing the house still. But remember, why do I say you got to go in and see a house? Because let me tell you, I don't care how excited you get when you see a photo. How many times have you seen a photo and you go to the house and say, who took the pictures of this house? This house doesn't look anything like the photos. So remember, you also can't smell a photo, so if it's a house that's a smoker's house, it's going to be a turnoff for your client. So it's important that you always, as much as you can possibly, really get to know your market, and so that you can talk about it with experience and knowledge and confidence. Very important that you do that, because that's why people want to use you and want to use us. Respond first. 35 to 50% of sales go to the first business to respond to them. So think about that, okay? How quickly do you respond? So always make sure that your email has an autoresponder built into it, that when someone emails you, an auto response automatically. If I do not respond to you within 5 minutes, it's because I'm with a client or unable to call you at that moment, you will hear from me within the hour, or give it a time frame. So they know that you're going to, if you're in a car, and you can pull over, if there's a way for you to do that, and you can make the call right then and there, great. Or respond right then and there, great. If not, make sure you have an autoresponder, and always contact them as quickly as you possibly can. Very, very, very important, because the first agent to respond on a phone call has the best chance to convert into an appointment. This means that you need to be getting text alerts when an lead is generating, and you need to follow up with a phone call within 2 minutes, if you can, of getting that lead. If you wait 5 minutes, then the lead has already moved to another site, I can assure you. That's why a lot of people have that when they, as soon as they come on their site, they got the little pop-up that comes up and says, do you need any help? Can I help you? And the little pop-up comes up, and the pop-up comes up only when you're sitting at your desk. So they have it set up in a way that it knows when you're at your computer and your computer is turned on and you're sitting at your desk. It could be, somebody else sitting at your desk. It doesn't have to necessarily be you, but you know what I mean. So the speed of response is extremely important. What all buyers want. Remember, buyers are interested in seeing a particular home. They're not interested in seeing you. So why would I, a buyer, want to come to your office and be pre-qualified by you? Because that's the first thing I want to do is with the client, is I want to pre-qualify them. And again, today a lot of this is being done through Zoom or through Google Meet, and are doing it online rather than in person. I still believe that there's a lot of people meeting in person. It's not everybody that wants to do it, the COVID-19 way through Zoom or whatever. But they're not going to want to come because of me, because I'm a nice real estate agent, because I'm an honest real estate agent. It's because I know how to get them excited about a house. So they're calling on a sign, they're calling on whatever, they're calling on an ad, that you've got in a magazine or whatever. When you get that phone call from them, okay, remember, it's how you can get them excited. Oh, you're looking for a house. Describe to me exactly what it is that you're looking for. If it's a sign call, tell me, what is it about this home that attracted you? Is it the area that's attracted you? Is it the style of home that attracted you? What attracted you? If it's an ad, is it the price? Is it the area? Is it because ads have a lot of photos. So what is it that attracted them? Find out. It's important that you find this out. If it's the school district, then you'll have lots to talk about no matter what. Understand this when calling the lead, and start off the conversation asking about the particular home. And that's why I use that example about the sign call, how to be able to deal with a sign call, and that calling an ad, a lead that you've gotten, that one that was dealing with, those properties, that pre-construction properties. I went through that with you to help you understand how to be able to take control of a call, how to be able to find out what's important to them. Is it style? Is it house type? Is it price? What is it? Because that is what's going to make them excited, okay? If they're looking for this area because it's the school district they want to be in. So now they're not going to want to go outside this area because they want to be in this school district. So it helps you tremendously knowing that. Remember, it's two things. It's finding their pain points, because every customer has a pain point. What is their pain point? Is it their financial capabilities? Something's holding them back. Something's worrying them. Every customer has worries, fears, doubts, concerns. So you as a professional need to find out what is their pain point. They're not going to tell you right away. They're not going to tell you that they got a bad credit rating they're a little concerned about. They're not going to want to tell you that their family member said they're going to lend them money, but they haven't got it yet from them. They're not going to tell you that their husband has been possibly going to lose his job, or they've been talking about shutting the plant down or whatever. Okay. So remember, your job as a professional is to find their pain points and to find their hot buttons, what excites them. Why do they want this? If you can't get here, is there somewhere else that you would want to be? If you couldn't get this style, is there another style? You know what I'm saying? So very important. Get the appointment before the other agent. That's what you're trying to do, is exactly that. Being the first agent to call them, we talked about that, is critical, because something like 80% of buyers will use that first agent that connects with them. Providing value. That's why I went through that experience call. You won't get the appointment if you're not offering something. Oh, you wanted a house with a big kitchen. Oh my God, I saw a house yesterday. Brand new kitchen, huge kitchen. Totally renovated only about a year ago. They probably spent about $50,000 in renovations. When's a good time to get you and your husband out looking? Afternoons, evenings, weekends, through the week? What's better for you? You see what I'm saying? Getting them excited, providing them value, prove to them you're not going to waste their time, that you're going to help them. They're going to help them find a great house. You're going to help them qualify. You're going to help them get the great mortgage. That's the kind of thing that you want to do. It's all about value. And remember, hustle, hustle, hustle during those first 10 days. A tip that involved initial contacts with your leads, this is one has to do with widely known as the 10 days of pain. In real estate, it means the first 10 days are critical. So you should make every effort possible to speak to these people in those first 10 days. And, if you look at this funnel, video ads, blogs, Facebook, YouTube, webpage, Instagram, the leads are captured, come in. Then the customer prospect, you're starting to contact them. You keep contacting them. You finally have a conversation with them. Then you can turn, once you have a conversation with them, you might have to have multiple conversations with them. You might be in this customer phase for a long time. They become a client when you start taking them out and start showing them houses, or go to a listing appointment, depending on what it is. But remember, this funnel takes time. Each layer takes time. So don't back off. Those first days are extremely, extremely important. We talked, another thing you can do is, start with a Facebook group. Let's go back there. I don't know what happened there. There's all kinds of groups that you can start. So if you're working a particular area and, luxury condos in downtown Toronto, investors, start an investment group. Kind of thing. There's all kinds of things that you can do there, starting a group in your area. There's already websites, Park Bench. If you've never looked at that website, do yourself a favor, go to parkbench.com. That's what it is. It's a website you geared to a community, whatever the community is, and your website becomes known as the go-to website if you want to know anything about Glen Abbey, Oakville, or wherever it is that you're working. So very important to think about if you want to start a group, whether it's a group of buyers, a group of sellers, an investment group, or, having a website geared to a particular area again, and a niche. Create a lead magnet. In other words, have a sign up for my free buyer's guide to buying your first home, my free seller's guide to selling your home, my renovation tips, the 10 things that are going to make your house sell quicker for more money, a guide to remodeling your home. So have some great things on your website, on your social walls that you can promote to make people reach out to want to sign up. Because once they sign up, that gives you the lead. I don't care that you get 1,000 visitors to your site. You want some people to email you. I'm working on a buyer's booklet right now, buying your first home or buying a new home, a buyer's guide. And it's not quite finished yet, but I'm working on it. It's probably 2/3 finished right now. Tips to getting a mortgage, qualifying for a mortgage, tips to closing, what to look for when you're going to close a transaction, There's all kinds of things that you can use as lead magnets. And these lead magnets are things that people would want to sign up for, that would give up their name and whatnot to get. We talked about drip campaigns, contact all leads, like we said, right away. And if they don't respond, put them into a drip campaign. Every client that you get, no matter where you get them from, should automatically go into your database. Your database should automatically be able to, send out drip campaigns. Every couple of weeks, they get another email that's already written for them, for you, that you don't have to. So make sure, let them unsubscribe if they want to. No big deal. We're almost done here, by the way. Let them unsubscribe. Ask the right questions. That's why I gave you that little example. It's about always asking questions. Can you tell me about your current living situation? Do you need to be in a specific school district? How about transportation needs? Do you need to sell in order to buy? Yes, we do. Have you already contacted real estate agents? Yes, we have. Well, it's good to have more than one. I'd love to be able to offer you an evaluation for your property. Now, if they're in Niagara Falls and you're here in Markham, hey, then maybe you can refer it to somebody if they don't have anybody. But are you really going to want to go to Niagara Falls when your area is in Markham or wherever? So, you have to pick and choose whether or not you want to be out there servicing their listing rather than refer it. But always remember, very, very important to make sure that you have the help they want. We talked about testimonials on everything. Make sure you always ask for them and put them on your websites, put them on your email. I even say put them in one of your email signatures. What one client bought my home through Gabrielle. She sold, she found us the right house, and we got a great buy. Anything, even in your email signature, make sure you get testimonials from everyone. So important. Try videos. So important. If they're not responding, there's all kinds of BombBomb, for example. You can send a video through BombBomb, which is an email program. And rather than open up a boring email message, it's you that they get to see, and how great that is. So always remember, there's various ways to capture someone's attention if they're not responding. Make sure that you have a great newsletter. And I so believe that every realtor needs a really great targeted newsletter. And if you are going to use a newsletter, please contact the one that I've got down here, missionresponse.com. By far one of the best newsletter services out there. Use my name. And I guarantee you he's the best in the business as far as newsletters. And every real estate agent needs one. He also has both print and email. So, okay, we are 2 minutes late. Let's take a look. Thank you. I hope I've answered some great questions for you, or some thoughts in your mind. Let's see what your questions are. We're going to deal. Thank you very much for love to see that round of applause. It's so great. Let's see. Okay. Can you send the lead generation list? Yes, I will. Will, if you would please send me an email to training@homelife.com. I will make sure I send you that list. Will, happy to send you the list. Training@homelife.com. Can you type the lead generation websites here? No. Send me the email, Iram. Do you have any courses for CRM and drip campaigns? Yes, I do. It's building your contact management systems. Yes, I do. I have lots of courses on your contact management system and generating leads instead of lead conversion. So look for generating leads. I probably have, lead generation. I have about 20 courses on lead generation, just to give you an idea. It might even be more than that. About 20 courses on lead generation. There's a whole list. If you want, I can send you a whole list of courses. Lots of them, Billy. Income should offer social media auto scheduling as well. I'm not sure if you know, but Incom has they have a whole marketing division. So if you want them to manage your social media for you, as well as get optimization on your website, contact them at Incom and inquire about their drip campaigns, inquire about their social media marketing, as well as their lead generation services, because they have it. You have to pay for it, obviously, but I have Facebook group around 3,000 members, but got 3 buyers leads who need to save more for down, but not much luck. The group is almost 2 years old. Okay, what I can say to you, Aram, is the first thing I would say is, what kind of content are you posting on Facebook? That's the first thing that I would be questioning for you, is what kind of content. Remember, it's all about the value of your information. And that's why I say there's, finding good content is one of the key elements to online lead generation or marketing on the internet of any kind. It's the value of the content that you have. Now, where you can get content, just to give you an idea of how you can have someone help you with creating content, is a couple of ways. Number one, you can hire a student, a university student, first year, maybe second year, going to be a writer, going to be a journalist, going to be a teacher. And so, writing and research is, big in their area. So all you got to do is, there's many universities, they all have websites, they all have, they're all looking for students to find part-time jobs for them. You're not going to hire them full-time. Give them a list of 30 topics, 20 topics every now and again, and tell them to find content for you based on these topics. And they'll find the content for you and even rewrite it for you if you want. So one thing is to hire a university student to help you. Trust me. I hired a university student when I had my own website business for realtors, and I had training courses for realtors. And let me tell you, this lady had graduated from University of Toronto, digital media, and she was an expert because she had a BA in digital media and was working towards her master's in that. Anyways, long story short, this lady took me from being buried on the internet to page one, multiple times on page one, with my training courses. So having someone who knows what they're doing can make a big difference to you, a big difference, Aram. It's not an easy thing to learn. That's why hiring an expert can help you. And a university student, you don't have to hire them full time. The other thing you can do also is there's a website that you can go to, a number of them, but the one that I have used and would recommend is Text Broker, TEXT Broker, like real estate broker. Text someone, TEXT broker.com. Textbroker.com. It's a website that has about 50,000 professional journalists. They write on every subject that you can possibly imagine, and you can hire them to write for you. And whatever you need, I need to buy 10 articles. Again, you tell them the subject matter. They will write it for you. They will optimize it for you. Depending on the size of your articles, that you're having them write for you, it can be anywhere from $30 to $50 per article. But remember, spending $500 there can make all the difference in the world, because what I'm saying to you, it's doing multiple things for you. Not only is it capturing the interest, showing your client online the value that your content is, it's valuable content, great information. I'm glad I read this. I'm going to share this article. It's a great article. It helps you with optimizing your website. It helps you move up in the search engine. So nothing is more important than great articles. So I hope that's helped you, Aram, with articles. Yes, the webinar is recorded. All of them are, and you can watch them again and again and again. can you please send me some lead generation websites? Some lead generation website. You mean sites that you can buy leads from? Yes, if you send me an email, I'll send you a few links. So Gull, again, email me training@homelife, and I will definitely send you a few companies that that are lead generation sites that you can go to. The first thing when talk to a lead and when they want to make an appointment to see some properties, do you recommend to have them sign a buyer rep before showing them? That's a very good question, David. Lou, I'm glad you asked it. I tell you, the first appointment my first appointment was never before I see you at all, you have to sign the buyer agency agreement. No, absolutely not. The first connection with you, my first appointment with you, is a consultation, and that consultation is going through your specific needs, the kind of property you're looking for, why you're looking for this kind of a property, what special features does it have to have, and what are the reasons that you have to have. Always go for the why. When somebody tells me they want a double garage, sounds like a double garage is really important. Do you mind if I ask you, why is a double garage so important? If they say, well, my wife has a car, I have a car, we want both of them to be in the garage. I know thousands of people that have a triple car garage and have only one car and they can't get it in their garage. So that to me is not a good enough reason to not show them a property that has only a single car garage, but it has everything else they want, but it only has a single car garage. Now, if they told me their husband works on cars, they buy old cars, and they work on them, or they, one side of the garage has to be a workshop, whatever. If they want the garage for a specific reason, then I know they have to have a double garage. So that's why I say you got to know when to ask the why. So very, very important that you do that. And do you recommend so that first is a consultation. And then what I do is I explain to them about a buyer agency agreement, and whether they choose to use me or not, you should find the agent that you're comfortable with. I'm hoping it's me. And you should always have a buyer agency signed for you. And let me tell you why the buyer agency is so important to you, the customer. Because when you sign a buyer agency, I now 100% owe my fiduciary duties to you and only you. If you do not sign the buyer agency and all you are is a customer kind of thing, and I don't have fiduciary duties to you, then I don't necessarily I cannot disclose everything to you, because I don't have any fiduciary duties to you. I almost have fiduciary duties more to the seller than I have the buyer. Okay, so very important. I have a little graphic that I can send you, David. If you again send me an email, I'll send you a little graphic, and that'll help you with your clients to sign the buyer agent. So that first consultation will be to talk about their needs, will be to qualify them. I often have a mortgage person there as well to go through some of the mortgage details. I want my customer to be extremely knowledgeable about when they're out looking to buy a house with me, that they know what to look for. They've already been pre-qualified, and I've talked about the buyer agency, and it's then that I would like them to sign a buyer agency. Have they always signed a buyer agency? No, they haven't always, but most of the time they will. If you make it about why it's going to protect them, not about, I won't take you out if you don't sign a buyer agency, because that's all about you. So never make it about you. You mentioned you want to take control and ask them questions back to start up the conversation. Your example for the pre-construction, how would you start up for resale? I think I gave you that one already when I said, do you rent? Do you own? They rent. If they own, will you be buying for investment? Are you trading up? Are you trading down? So it's the questions you're asking are questions that'll help you understand where they are at in terms of their decision making to buy. Are they really qualified? Are they pre-qualified? Are they not qualified? A, double A, triple A, as I say. We went through a lot of that already. Do you recommend any web designers other than such as Incom, any other options? There's a number of options out there, but I tell you, I have my own website product for 15 years. I know the internet really, really well. I know websites really, really well. And to be honest with you, there's not too many websites that offer the features that Incom does. As far as I'm concerned, Incom is one of the top. So, and I'm not saying that because I'm getting any kind of reward for saying it. I'm not. I know the product. I know it well. Because I had a product and I had over 3,000 people using my product for 15 years. I sold my business to Lone Wolf Real Estate Technologies. So to hear this again, will this be archived? Yes, it will. Give them 3 or 4 days. And I had a client last month. She mentioned friend of her has an agent who never signed a B with her. Is this something common? Do all buyers sign a buyer agency? No. As a matter of fact, most don't. And it's the real estate agent's problem. Send me an email and I'll send you that little chart that I was talking about. Okay, so I think we got everything. Thank you all very, very much. I hope you found this helpful. And the next course I'm doing, just so you know, is, Thursday this week. November 5, Influencing Clients. That's a good course. Thursday, Influencing Clients. Hope to see you then. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks for the applause. Always happy to see that. Thank you.